This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is Rolf Gerritsen, the CEO of MetalNRG. Hi Rolf, thank you very much for joining us today. How are you?
Very well, Mark. Thank you for having me.
Now, it's good to be talking to you, Rolf. We're approaching the end of the year. We're in early December. Everything's going to be starting to wind down. And I wonder if today we can cover a bit of a review of 2021. How would you describe the last year for MetalNRG?
I would describe it the good, the bad, the ugly. I think the market for the junior segment has been pretty ugly towards the end of the year. It started off quite well, but then towards the end of the year, most junior companies have seen a downward pressure on their share price. With regards to MetalNRG, we had some bad news coming out towards early November with regards to BritNRG. We're working our way through that. I'm confident that we'll find a solution. It's a process. It will take time, but we'll get there. And I'm, as I said, confident that we'll find some sort of a solution that makes sense for everyone. Our asset in Kyrgyzstan, our uranium asset, we haven't had much news coming out of the country, but on the 28th of November, they did have elections. And there are rumors that they might be lifting the ban on uranium. And again, we're keeping a very close eye and focused very much on what will come out from the new government. And we're also realistic and have plan B in place if that needs to be triggered. So again, we're well positioned to progress that one way or the other. I think we've made excellent progress on Goldridge. We started off at the beginning of the year where it was a waste dump, which offered some short-term potential cash flow. We are today sitting on an opportunity which seems to be a lot larger than we had expected. That means that the short-term cash flow can't be exploited, because if we do so, we then avoid, or we put ourselves in a position where we will not be able to exploit the larger opportunity. But we're going full out to further understand the geology and really get a grasp of what that bigger opportunity entails. But all the signs coming out of Goldridge are extremely encouraging, and again, I think 2022 will bode well for the development of that story. 2021, I think, at a global level was a critical year for green, sustainable energy, and the whole green agenda culminated with the conference we had in Scotland. And I think that agenda is not going away, and billions have to be spent worldwide if the countries are going to get anywhere close to the pledges they've made. And if there's one thing I've learned in my life, is that if you follow the money, you'll do yourself a favor. And I think on that point, MetalNRG announced a business development partnership with Ecotech towards the middle of the year. And I think our timing was quite appropriate. And not only, I also believe that Ecotech, in terms of technology, in terms of pipeline, are really ahead of the game. And by partnering with them in a business development partnership, bodes extremely well for us. So on the back of that, we announced the investment we made, where we invested alongside Ecotech to bring back into commission a waste energy plant in Italy. And that's progressing extremely well, and we're looking forward to having it reconnected to the grid probably mid next year. So that's all moving forward very nicely, and again, going well. And I think there's the basis of that business partnership that we have with Ecotech is only there to be strengthened, which again we'll be working on in 22. So as I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but the good is there. And I think for 2022, there are encouraging stories that will come out of MetalNRG and that bode very well, especially for our share price.
I do seem to recall, I think it was maybe earlier this year when you sort of set out the vision for MNRG this year of building a company with multiple potential revenue streams that can then feed back to group level and covering different, a vast array of different commodities. You've got oil, gold, and of course the green side, and uranium potentially as well coming back into play. Do you feel then, despite the problems you've had with BritNRG, which was the big revenue generating part of the business, do you feel that the business is materially different from where it was in 2020 and it's better poised going forward now?
I think if you look at the share price that we currently have, I think the answer to that is no. But if you break it down and you start looking at the assets, I think that we're in a much stronger position. We have a diverse portfolio. We have a number of areas that will offer revenue over the next year. And if you start breaking those assets down in terms of actual value per asset, you'll see that the share price is seriously undervalued.
Okay.
So in short, Mark, are we in a better position than we were at the beginning of the year? I believe we are. We've had some setbacks, no question. But we're a young company, we're growing, and there will be some growing pains, and we need to be prepared as a team and a board to take those on. And we're not shying away from them. We're taking them on, and we're looking for resolutions.
Okay. Some lessons learned, perhaps, Rolf, this year that you can take forward?
Yeah, look, from my perspective, lessons learned is that the green agenda is going to be massive. And I think we need to focus more on that, and we need to drive that forward. And again, the business partnership that we have with Ecotech, I think it's solid and offers a real foundation for us to build that whole stream and that whole investment area into something quite prolific for MetalNRG next year.
Okay. Rolf Gerritsen, the CEO of MetalNRG, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.